The CEO of Dominion Voting Systems is shutting down, or trying to anyway, conspiracy theories that the company rigged the 2020 election. Completely false notions, by the way.
Of course. Days after the election, lawyers for then-President Trump began saying Dominion was backed by Venezuela and switched votes from Trump to Biden. Dominion has since filed 8 lawsuits seeking more than $10 billion in damages. Fox News is among the corporations being sued. Dominion CEO John Poulos dismissed the number of baseless claims with Anderson Cooper last night on 60 Minutes.
Were you associated with the late Hugo Chavez?
Absolutely not.
Do you use a Venezuelan company's software that's been used to steal election out of the countries?
Absolutely not. Anderson, I can cut all of this short. We were founded in Toronto, which is where my family was from, and there was nothing to do with Venezuela.
Can you flip votes in the computer system? Can you add votes that did not exist?
Absolutely not.
You know, one of the things he said, too, is this was one of the most, if not the most vetted elections in America, which should give people a great deal of confidence. Poulos also says the company and its employees have been subject to threats and harassment on nearly a daily basis. Let's bring in Roy Gutterman. He's the professor and director of Newhouse School's Tully Center for Free Speech at Syracuse University. Professor, in a statement to 60 Minutes, Fox News said it is confident it'll prevail in the Dominion litigation, citing First Amendment rights. We also heard from the attorney dealing with this lawsuit saying that, you know, he's pretty confident that they have a solid case, that Dominion does. Where do you stand? Do you agree that First Amendment will get Fox News off the hook?
In some ways, this is a pretty easy case, and in other ways, it's an extremely complicated case with the wealth of information that is being argued, and the volume of data and examples. There's definitely a First Amendment implication here with what a TV network can disseminate and say, but there's also a truth and falsity element here, and the ultimate question is whether there was false information that went on the air that people at Fox knew was false. And that's going to be the crux of what's going to be litigated here.
Yeah, so, you know, we are free in this country to be wrong and to be wrong in public, to be wrong on TV. I could be wrong right now at will. But the issue is, as you point out, being willfully wrong, and not only willfully wrong, but for that willful wrongness to negatively impact a person's reputation or a company's reputation. So for Dominion, which has to prove this, state of mind, really, at Fox News, that can be a tall order. How do you see them going around about doing this?
That's the key question here. What did they know when they went on the air, and what background did they have? What materials did they have to go on the air and make some of these statements that will probably be proven false to a certain extent? So it's going to be that classic legal courtroom question. What did you know and when did you know it? And we're in the discovery phase right now, and the Dominion lawyers are trying to collect the information to find out the answer to that question.
I mean, and it sounds like they kept sending letters and correcting the record over and over, and there was just a dismissal or an ignoring of that and continuing to report on the falsehoods. Now, how dangerous is talk about the security of election systems in the upcoming midterms? We're seeing already voter intimidation.
Well, I'm not a voting rights expert, but I am a citizen, and I follow this pretty closely. And it raises a lot of concerns from a democratic standpoint when people are challenging and questioning actual elections. Yeah, voter fraud happens, but it's at such a minute level and such a randomized thing that it would take a landslide of technology, untraceable technology, to really throw something like that throw an election like this out the window. So, the technology, if you heard CBS last night, the technology is safe and secure. If you read the court papers, Dominion is arguing safe and secure technology. And we haven't had any evidence in the last couple of years to contravene that.
Yeah. When it comes to fraud in that election in 2020, you're a former reporter for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. You also worked for New Jersey Superior Court, worked as a litigator also. The courts have weighed in on the question of fraud. You know, every media organization has taken a hard look at it. That doesn't seem to convince a certain hardcore segment of the public. I don't know what ultimately will sway them. I think it's got to come from their own leaders, and only time will tell whether they bring that message forward. Right now, they're not. Roy Gutterman, thank you very much for your clarity today.
Thank you.